Hello everyone and welcome back to lesson number 13, and today we're going to talk about the left hook to the body. So I put up a post a couple days ago asking what kind of videos or what kind of lessons you guys want to see, and I got 2 people that said the left hook to the body, so we're going to talk about that today. The left hook to the body, it's a lot of details that go into it. Although it seems like a regular punch to throw, there's a lot of setting up that goes into it, a lot of positioning and a lot of other things. We're going to talk about where to place your feet, how to set up the left hook to the body, what to throw before, what to throw after, how to move your head after you throw it. We're going to talk about defending against it, because every punch that you throw, you should know how to defend it, and it makes you a more complete fighter. So we're going to talk about that. So first things I want to talk about today is placement. Now, we talked about this in range a little bit in a couple lessons before, but I want to go in a little bit more depth in positioning. I'm not talking about range, I'm talking about positioning, okay? Well, let's talk about range a little bit. We're going to talk about range and positioning, okay? So this is my opponent right here. Imagine there's a circle around my opponent that comes up to here, okay? So from here to here, there's a circle around my opponent, right? Now, I'm in the middle of my opponent, okay, right here. And from this position where I'm in the middle of the circle, right in front of my opponent, if my opponent's standing like me, I could throw my left hand and my right hand pretty well, right? But when I reach over for the left hand, I'm reaching a little bit too much. Now, if I have long arms or whatever, maybe I could pull this off, but there's another way you could kind of position yourself before you throw the left to the body. And that positioning is basically choosing the side. So instead of being in the middle, you want to get closer to the right side of your opponent or to the left side of your own stance. So what that looks like is I'm just going to step over to the side. Now from this angle, I have a lot more leverage. I'm not reaching out with my punch where I lose power because I'm reaching back. I'm not hurting my shoulder. I'm moving beside the bag. I now have perfect leverage to throw the left hook to the body, okay? We're going to go complete opposite for now, just for a second. So this is the middle. If I want to throw the right hand to the body or to the head, I might want to be a little bit more on this side so I could get better leverage on the right hand, okay? So we talked about this in the in-close fighting about choosing a side, but you could actually choose a side not only for in-close fighting, but when you're mid-range or long-range, you don't want to always stay in the middle and throw your punches, because right here I'm aiming for the middle of my opponent. But if I want to get to the sides of my opponent, particularly the left hook, the body shot, the right hook, the body shot, well, I want to move closer to the side that I want to get to, and that's number 1 in positioning, okay? Now we're going to talk about a little bit about range, just real quick. So my opponent is right there and I'm far away, right? So what can I do? I could step closer and then I could angle off to the left, right? Or I could be here, I could step closer, angle off to the right, okay? So first I took care of my range. So I got closer. Now I'm close enough where I could land my punches. Now I could step off to the side and throw the punch that I want. There's another way to do this, which is not coming in straight ahead, but stepping in or stepping around from a little bit farther away and then moving in. That way I don't have to readjust. I'm already in position to throw the left hand, okay? So those are two things that I wanted to cover, is with range and positioning. You could either step in forward first and then position yourself, or you could position yourself and then step in first and do that, okay? So that's kind of the thing. You want to imagine a circle. You're imagining a pie. So there's a pie right here. I could slice right through the pie and then step to the side, or I could step to the side and then slice down the pie, okay? So those are just 2 things about range and positioning that I wanted to cover real quick. Let's get back into the left hook to the body. Now, like always, when we're throwing anything up or kind of a hook, we want to start with a low position. So this is basically the position you want to be in. Now, there's some something's wrong that could go with this position, which is being too narrow. So when I try to throw or try to load it up, I have nothing here, okay? Think of your feet as support systems for your upper body. If my left foot is right in front of me and there's nothing here, well, when I put weight here, I'm gonna fall and I don't have anything to hold me up or give me power, right? So what I gotta do is, if I wanna put my weight here, well, my lead foot has to be out here. Now, when I do this, I have plenty of balance, I have something holding me up, and I trust my foot here. But here, if my body's going here, it's bad for me, okay? That's first things first, is you wanna be a little bit wider, okay? And you wanna have your weight on the front leg. Now the punch itself, it's not an uppercut, it's not a hook, it's a 45. So what it looks like is I'm slicing up. Imagine imagine an X, and this is the body shot. So you're kind of slicing your opponent's body with an X, or on an angle. You're not going around and you're not going in, you're going up, okay? Now this is the most basic type of body shot with the left hand. It's not wrong to throw an actual left hook to the body. It's not wrong to throw an actual uppercut to the body, but the liver shot itself, it's kind of more of a little bit of an angle, and you're thinking that you're picking up your opponent on that angle, okay? So those are the main points of the left hook to the body. Now I'm gonna take you guys back just for a second. We had this coach, this ex-fighter, he came to our gym one time. His name was Sugarfoot. I forgot his first name, but his name was Sugarfoot. And he gave us all like a boxing lesson together, like a seminar type thing. And I asked him about the left hook to the body. And he told me, what you're doing wrong is you're thudding with it. So what happens is I was going like, right? He said that's wrong. He said you want to stab with it. And that's the first time I ever heard someone say stab your punch. What he meant is as soon as the left hand touches the body, you want to pull it out, okay? So you don't want to think about power when you throw the left hook to the body. You want to think about stabbing it like a knife, in and out. So what you want to do is like, as hard as I go in, as fast as I go in, I pull it back right away. And that way, it gives you like that stabbing feeling into your opponent. It doesn't leave you in front of their punch. So instead of going boom and staying there where I can get hit, open and close right away just like a knife. And that helped me a lot with landing it. It makes it a lot more kind of a vicious body shot rather than just a power shot. And that's another tip that I just wanted to share with you guys real quick. Now, the left hand to the body is very hard to land, especially if you're new, because like I said, the positioning and the angling that you need takes a little bit of time to understand and learn how to actually get around, okay? So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you different ways to get to that spot that you want. First things first is the jab. The easiest way to move your opponent is while throwing a jab. I could throw a jab and move to the left. I could throw a jab and move to the right, okay? That's the most basic thing you can do. The easiest way, the most reliant way, is keep a jab in front of your opponent's face and step while you jab. So if I'm moving left, I'm stepping with my left foot first, and I'm kind of circling my opponent, okay? The other way is if I'm moving right, I could step with my right foot while I jab, and I'm kind of falling over to the right. And that's the easiest way you could circle your opponent when you're at jab's distance. So what I could do is here and kind of just jab, jab. Now I'm in the spot I want, and now I could go for it. Another way you could do it is you could step with one jab, so kind of like Mike Tyson, and you slip right after you jab. So you jab, right? And then as you pull back the jab, you're gonna step and slip at the same time. That's another way you could throw it, is that way. But what I've been telling you guys is actually how to throw it around. I'm gonna show you another body shot that actually is a lot easier to land, and it's very unexpected from your opponent's point of view, which is instead of reaching around your opponent, you could just go straight in. Now, I haven't seen too many pro fighters do this from all the film I've watched. This is one of my favorite punches to throw to the body because I always struggled with landing this one. This one was always easier. You go right up the middle. But there's a fighter named Glenn Johnson, and he is one of the only fighters that I saw him throw it in a fight. I forgot who the guy he was fighting. I think his name was like Omar or something. But this is one of the best body shots to throw if you have a hard time moving to the left and setting up the left shot, or if you're fighting someone with a longer reach. I don't know. I like being here. Instead of going around, I go right up in the middle, right in the solar plex, and trust me, it's a really good punch to land. So again, instead of going around, you go in. You could put your right hand across your face, kind of slip and get it in there. One of my favorite punches to land to the body. The landing percentage of that punch is a lot higher than this shot. Okay, so that's something I want to tell you guys, is that type of body shot, which I don't see a lot of fighters throw, or I haven't seen a lot of fighters throw, but it's my personal favorite in sparring, because this body shot, when you got to work around and get behind the elbow and do all of that, it does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of setting up, okay? But anyhow, if you still like the outside body shot, we're going to talk about a little bit more, and we're going to talk about the different setups other than the jab, okay? Now, there's a really good fight if you watch Roy Jones Jr. versus Tito Trinidad. Although Tito Trinidad was fighting at a heavier weight than he should have, they both landed the left hook to the head, left hook to the body combination, and this is one of the best combos to set up the left hook to the body. So what that looks like is you're just touching upstairs, and then you're closing up again, and then you're opening again, up again to the body. So what that looks like from here is like touch, bang, okay? And the first left hook is nothing but to bring your opponent's hand up so they could free up the body. Because if you only target the body shot, it's really easy for your opponent to keep that elbow in and not give you the shot or give you the opening. So now you have to create the opening by touching the head, and the head hook is basically a slap. So I'm just slapping, or you could even throw it like an open hand, and then you could rip it to the body, okay? That's another setup. You just touch the head and go to the body, okay? So we talked all about that. Now I want to talk about something else, which is squaring up. Now this is something that you shouldn't do if you're a beginner, but if you've been fighting, if you understand boxing a little bit, this is something that Julio Cesar Chavez used to do really, really good. He would square up here, okay? Now from here, you got a lot of leverage to go on the outside. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more narrow stance. So from here, it's, like I said, there's nothing there catching my weight. It puts a lot of stress on my leg, and I don't get a lot of power. But if I'm standing here, okay, I got a lot of leverage on that left hook to the body or to the liver. And that's something else you could do if you've been boxing for a while. Coaches always tell you don't square up. But if you are a pressure fighter that likes to get in there, you can start going here. And I'm a lot more squared up. And you could get a lot of leverage on that left hook to the body. And the best thing about this thing is that you could throw the right hand. You could be heading, and you go throw that. It's a little bit different than being like this and like that. Okay, that's another thing I want to say. If you're in a bladed stance, from here to throw the left hook to the body, what you have to do is weight transfer first. So you have to be here, boom, bang. Or what you could do is from here, throw the right hand, bang. Or what you could do from here is touch, slip, bang. So if you notice, when I'm in a bladed stance, I got to switch over first before I could throw my left hook to the body. But when you are squared, or you are a fighter that keeps their weight on the front foot, you're already here, so you don't have to set it up. You're kind of one step ahead. Something comes at you, you just slip and bang, or you're already loaded up if you're a little bit more squared. So that's the advantage of already having your weight on the left side of your body. is you don't have to do this. You don't have to do that because that takes a little bit more time to set up. By the time you get there, your opponent might be gone. Yeah, so another setup from that, what I just said, is the 1-2 body shot. What that looks like is boom. Now, to transfer my weight, I don't really care about my right hand. I'm not throwing it for a knockout. I'm only throwing it in front of my opponent's eyes so I could switch over to the left side. So what that looks like is, okay, I just use that right hand to get over to this side. Bang. Okay, so here, you could do that also. So you're basically taking any excuse, any punch or any slip to get from this side to this side. But like I said, if you fight more squared and with more weight on your front foot, you could be here and you're already set up to throw that liver shot or that body shot. Okay? Woo! Sorry. Okay, so that's the main things I wanted to say. Now, with the back to the shot on the inside that I said I really like, you could do that actually without getting too much on the left side. You could just be here. Okay, that's another shot that doesn't take as much setting up as a left hook to the body. Because a left hook to the body, thinking of a bladed fighter like myself, I gotta reach around. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys the European hook and why it's good to throw to the body. So the European hook is this one, where you drop your knuckles instead of being like this. Now, like I said, with the left hook to the body, you gotta lean in and then get in like this. But with the European hook, you could kind of get behind the elbow just by doing this, and you could throw it from quite a far away. Okay, that's another way to reach behind your opponent's elbow. So what you could do is like, okay, so you could reach behind, make them reach back or cover up, and then you can bring it back in and throw that body shot to the body. So that's another use of the European hook, or you could throw it to the head. You could make them bring their hand behind their ear, boom, bang. That's another time I like using that European hook setup. Now let's talk about defenses to the liver shot. Of course, the first thing we have is the elbow. The elbow is the main defense for the body shot, basically. What you could do is you keep it in that bone, you lean in to your elbow, and you're here. Now, another way you could actually make it a little bit better or easier to block the liver shot is by turning. And why? Is because now my opponent has to reach longer around my elbow to actually get to my body. If you stand square, your body is right there for your opponent. If you're more bladed or here, they have to reach around to get here. Then they start targeting the middle of your body. You could start covering up, but by staying bladed, you're keeping the right side farther away from your opponent, and that's one of the best defenses. But when the punch does come, you want to lean into your elbow and absorb that shot. And yeah, another way, this is really advanced, if someone throws and reaches around with your elbow, you could kind of drop it into their forearm or into their wrist or into their forearm. So if someone throws that, you could kind of go like this. And by doing this, you really hurt them because it goes right into their hand or right into their arm. That's another thing you could do. What else? You could lean into it before it finally reaches you. So if you watch my breakdown of Jimmy Young versus Ken Norton, Ken Norton throws his left hook like this, and what Jimmy Young does is he leans into it before it could actually reach him, and he kind of stops it before it generates any real power. And that's another way you could take away the left to the body. And now I'm going to talk about something else, which is when you want to throw a power punch like the left to the body, you don't want to overthrow it, and you don't want to make your opponent scared of it. Okay? Now, there are people known as body punchers, like say Mickey Ward or guys like that, that really know how to target the body. But if that's not you, if it's just another punch that you're learning to throw, you don't want to throw it too often against your opponent, because now they're going to start thinking about it and then they're going to start covering up. What you really want to do is use your jab a lot, use the left hook to the head, and make them forget about that punch and only throw it when it has a high chance of landing. If you always throw your best punch or your favorite punch or the punch that you're really trying to land, then your opponent covers up on that spot and now you can't get to that spot. So what you want to do is play around, keep them. And by playing around, I don't mean setting up for 10-15 seconds and then throwing it again. You might not throw the left hook to the body for 2-3 rounds until your opponent is really not thinking about it, and then you throw it. Okay? So so I've talked about all offensive ways to land the body shot. Let's talk a little bit about defensive ways to get to it. So of course, the right hand, if the right hand is thrown at me, I could slip and get to the body. That's kind of the main way. If someone throws their right hand, you could slip on the outside and throw it. Another way is the left hook I told you, which goes up the middle of the body. When someone throws a right hand, you could roll with it. You could roll with the right hand and throw the shot to the body. That's another really good way to land it. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. Take your time in setting up the left hook. One more thing, when you're practicing on the bag of throwing the left hook, like I said, positioning matters a lot. Don't just stand random places and throw the left hook just to work on your shot. You got to set it up with your positioning. So I got to jab, move, get closer and closer. Now I could throw it, okay, pivot off, and so forth. Don't just stand in the bag, in front of the bag, and that's not going to help you actually land it. It might make your punch better, but it's not going to help you land it. If you see Canelo Alvarez train, he does this. He just stands in front of the bag and just hammers body shots. Well, that's because he already knows how to set it up, and now he could just work on more of the technique and stamina of it. But when you are starting off trying to actually get the punch to land, don't think about the power, don't think about anything else except actually getting to the place where you can land it from. Once you get good at that, then you could start working on your power, your speed, and adding in all the other ingredients. Okay? Now there's one more thing I told you guys I would talk about, which is what to do with your head after you throw your punch. So from here, going back to Canelo, what Canelo does is he throws it, he slips, and he rolls out. So he goes like, and he rolls out to the right. You could also go like, boom, step over. You could go, boom, step back. You could go, boom, boom. Okay, or you could go, boom, 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 step around. So you could add other punches after the body shot to help you move around. Or the best or the most common way is bang, step around, but then you wrist the right hand. What I really like, what I saw from Canelo, is he throws it, bang, slips, and rolls under, and then you actually got a right hand after that also. Okay, guys? Woo! That's the left hook to the body. Setting it up, the thought process behind it, stabbing it, not throwing it hard. The inside one, the around one, the European one. What else? Yeah, so another thing about the angles I already told you guys, you can throw the left hook actually like a hook, but then you would have to get really low this way. You run the risk of getting into a left uppercut from your opponent. You want to go up like an X and cut through your opponent this way. You don't want to go really around unless it's the European hook. Then you could go around, but when you're throwing this one, you actually want to bang. Don't keep your feet narrow. You got to be more here. Play around with the jab a lot more and move your head so it's not as obvious that you're trying to get to the body. What else? That's kind of what's on my mind right now about it. One more thing, the right hand positioning. So when I'm throwing the left hook or the left uppercut to the body, I should say, I keep my right hand here. If I'm going to throw the one that we were talking about, you could put your right hand here and throw it. Some people, they put their hand, they slip like this and they throw it from there. They could do this. loose, and you could do that. That's basically the two ways you could protect yourself while you throw that shot. Don't throw the shot from behind your back. You're leaving yourself wide too open for too long. Keep it in until you get there, and then as you open up, let it go away from you. Don't think of, okay, that's not good. And that's pretty much it. So this video is dropping Wednesday. What else? I think the next video I'm going to talk about sparring. So I had a couple comments about sparring. I'm going to talk to you guys about the mentality of sparring, how to learn from sparring, how to make sparring more beneficial for you, and all that type of stuff. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.